We start with breaking news today at noon. Within the past hour, we've learned that 18 people are now confirmed dead and 13 others injured after a mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine. This is 40-year-old Robert Card, the suspected gunman. Right now, there is an intensive manhunt underway to find him. Gordon Severson joins us now live with the latest.
Yeah, we're learning more about these 18 victims and how this shooting played out. This morning, officials confirmed that 7 of these victims were found dead inside the bowling alley. 8 were found dead inside the restaurant, and 3 more victims died overnight at nearby hospitals. And officials say at least 13 other people were injured during the shooting. Officials are still trying to figure out the shooter's motive and why he picked these 2 businesses. Investigators say the shooter walked into a bar and grill in Lewiston around 7 last night and shot multiple people. He then drove 4 miles to Spare Time Recreation, a bowling alley on the other side of town, where officials say he shot even more people. Since the shooter is still on the loose, officials say a shelter-in-place order is still in effect in the cities of Lewiston, Lisbon, and Bowdoin.
Our reality for today is that this suspect is still at large, and we want to provide community support for the victims, for the families, in the communities across the state. But we also have an incredibly strong laser-like focus on bringing this suspect into custody.
We are also learning more about this shooter. A bulletin that was sent out by law enforcement officials say that the shooter is a trained firearms instructor who is currently in the Army Reserve. Police have issued a warrant for his arrest with 8 counts of murder. We're told the reason why there are 8 counts instead of 18 is because only 8 of the victims have been identified at this time. Back to you.
Gordon, thank you. A few hours ago, Governor Tim Walz tweeted saying Minnesota will offer any of our resources that Maine may need. He added, quote, Minnesotans offer our heartfelt condolences as Mainers grapple with our country's latest senseless tragedy. A look at where Congress stands on gun control from just hours before last night's shootings. Yesterday, the Senate approved an amendment regarding veterans and with mental illness. It makes it easier for them to bypass background checks when buying weapons. The package of gun bills has not yet passed in the Senate, but could be voted on next week. We will continue to follow the latest from Maine throughout the day as more information comes into our newsroom. Our coverage continues on air and online at KARE11.com. Showers are still sticking around after a very rainy start to the day, but the big change comes tomorrow, Ben. What's in store?
Well, that's definitely going to be our transition day from basically fall to more, honestly, early winter-like conditions. Temperatures will be falling throughout the day tomorrow, and parts of northern Minnesota will still be dealing with some snow showers. We're going to have to wait until Saturday for our opportunity at seeing some white stuff around the Twin Cities. Today, it's just about scattered rain showers, but you can see far northwestern Minnesota, including cities like Halleck, dealing with the snow, at least for today. That's where the colder air is right now. It's 37 degrees up in Thief River Falls. Most of us will be near 60 by this afternoon. Probably our last mild day of fall for quite a while, we'll say. 58 degrees right now. The wind is rather light. We have a lot of these low-hanging clouds that might squeeze out some patchy drizzle in between those showers. Not a ton of additional rain is in the forecast, but the chance for rain will be with us through the evening hours. We'll talk about who could be looking at accumulating snow this weekend. That's coming up. Alexis?
Ben, thank you so much. Well, today, UAW members who work at Ford are going back to work after the company struck a deal with the union. Eva Anderson shows us how it could impact the thousands of others.
The 4-year deal they've reached could be great news for both Ford and the union, whose members have been striking for 6 weeks now. What's more, this agreement could put pressure on Stellantis and GM to hurry things up as well. Here's what that tentative agreement looks like. UAW negotiators say in this deal, Ford workers would get a 25% general wage increase, plus cost of living raises. That's a huge increase from when talks started, and Ford offered just 9% increase. That puts top scale assembly plant workers at above $40 per hour by the end of the contract. This deal still needs to be voted on by 57,000 union members. And during past auto strikes, a UAW deal with one automaker has led to the other companies matching it. Back to you.
In less than an hour, nurses at Allina hospitals in the Twin Cities will walk off the job. They're picketing at Abbott, Northwestern, Mercy, and United hospitals. They're demanding changes due to staffing cuts and recent closures. We're taking a live look at the nation's capital, where the House of Representatives will meet under a new speaker. After 3 weeks, Republicans passed a vote to name Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson the new leader of the House. He was the fourth nominee selected by the party. Two choices, including Minnesota Representative Tom Emmer, withdrew their names before taking a full House vote. The other nominee, Jim Jordan, stepped down after 3 failed votes. Today, lawmakers say they're eager to get back to work.
All Mike Johnson will need to do is to meet us in a bipartisan way in that fashion, and we'll be able to work together whenever and wherever possible.
We need to get after the mission, and I feel excited that Mike Johnson's the guy that can bring us together and get us back focused on what we said we would do.
The first measure passed through the floor after the decision was a resolution to support Israel and the Israel-Hamas war. It passed with only 10 opposing votes. Today, the United Nations continues to warn that the hospital system in Gaza could close down at any moment due to a lack of fuel. The latest reports show they are still open right now. Overnight, Israel says it brought out targeted raids in Gaza using tanks. It's a sign of the biggest mission so far since the war started. In less than an hour, Governor Walz, along with state and local leaders, will break ground on a new state emergency operations center in Blaine. It will serve as the central command and control center for communications between agencies and first responders. It's a $41 million project. The goal here is to improve Minnesota's preparation for response to and recovery from emergencies and disasters. Well, when we think of Halloween, we think of candy, but we also want to make sure that candy is safe. Still ahead, how you can make sure THC edibles don't get mixed in with the wrong snacks. Plus, we're looking ahead to some events around the cities, starting with a big concert tonight that still has tickets available.